An exciting development from Google DeepMind emerged with their new experimental model, Gemini Exp-1206, has reached the top of the LM Arena leaderboard. Interestingly, Google's CEO Sundar Pichai himself highlighted the achievement and quote tweeted Logan, a prominent AI lead at Google, with exponential graph and more to come. Before we look at the implications, let's first take a look at how well this model performs in the released LM Arena's leaderboard. This model, which was released recently, has been put through a few tests with over 600,000 community votes in blind testing. The results are pretty impressive across the leaderboard, but there are some caveats. First, let's take a look at the Chatbot Arena results. Most notably, it jumped to number one in overall performance, and it also claimed the top spot in mathematics. Also, importantly, it dominated hard prompts, moving from number 4 to number 1. It also led the pack in creative writing. But however, it did make some modest gains in coding, but only reached number 3. And interestingly, the overall style control score, it remained at number 4, which was what past Google Gemini models. What's particularly interesting about this release is how different it feels from previous Google launches. There's no fancy version number or announcement on their blog, but it's just Gemini EXP-114. And unlike some AI releases that keep you waiting, Google made this one available right away through their AI Studio. One caveat though is that they have been having some issues with their API, so that hasn't been released yet. Once the API has been released, we can test on some benchmarks. There are also some quirks worth noting. The model has a relatively modest context window of 32,000 tokens, and it takes its thinking time. We're talking about 4 to 6 seconds for simple questions and up to a half a minute for tougher questions. It's like really pondering on each response, similar to O1. Furthermore, testing shows it's particularly strong with math problems and what they called hard prompts. These kind of complex questions really push these models to their limits. While it's too early to say exactly what makes this version special, the results suggest Google might be onto something interesting.